We live in a world where people run every single day chasing money. They sacrifice sleep, health, relationships, everything just to earn a little more. But there is one thing money can never buy: time. Today I will tell you a story that will change the way you look at your life forever. In the heart of London, there lived a wealthy merchant named Edward Collins. He had everything: mansions, car, gold, business that stretched across nation. People respected him. They called him the man who never failed. But deep inside, Edward was restless. He believed that money was the answer to everything. His philosophy was simple: time is money, so I must turn every second into profit. So Edward worked day and night. Birthday of his children missed. Dinner with his wife skipped. Even when his father was lying on his deathbed, Edward was busy finalizing a business deal. To the world, Edward was a legend. To his family, he was a stranger. One day, Edward went to buy a rare pocket watch from an old clockmaker named Samuel. Samuel lived a modest life in a small wooden shop at the corner of the street. He wasn't rich. His clothes were simple. His home was tiny. But when Edward stepped inside his shop, he noticed something strange. Samuel's face. It was glowing with peace. His shop was filled with laughter. Children from the neighborhood often visited him just to hear his story. He closed his shop at sunset every day without fail. Edward couldn't understand. How can a man who earns so little live with such joy? He wondered. So Edward asked, Samuel, you are not rich. You don't have cars, business, or mansions. Yet you smile like you own the whole world. How? Samuel looked at Edward, smiled gently, and said, my friend, you have money, but I have time, and time is life. Edward laughed. Time? Don't be foolish. Time is money, and I make sure I never waste a second. Samuel replied softly. Then let me ask you, how much money would you pay to relive the childhood of your son? To go back and spend one more evening with your father? To sit for 1 hour without worries, just enjoying the sunset? Edward froze. His heart trembled. He realized no matter how much money he had, he could never buy back those moments. That night, Edward couldn't sleep. When he finally did, he had a strange dream. He was standing in a vast marketplace. There were stalls everywhere, selling hours, days, even years of life. People were buying and selling time just like a gold and silver. Edward rushed to the counter and shouted, I want to buy 10 years of my youth back. I'll pay anything. The seller shook his head. Sorry, sir. Your youth is sold out. Fine. Then give me one more evening with my father. Name your price. The seller smiled sadly. Those moments are out of stock. Edward fell to his knees, screaming. He had all the money in the world, but he couldn't buy a single second of time. He woke up sweating. For the first time in his life, Edward realized he was poor. The next morning, Edward went back to Samuel's shop. He sat with him silently for hours. For the first time, Edward watched the sunset without looking at his phone. Without worrying about his profit, he felt peace. Day by day, Edward began to change. He spent time with his children. He listened to their stories. He cooked with his wife, loved with her again. He took long walks, visited his father's grave, and whispered, "I'm sorry, I should have been there." For the first time, Edward understood the true meaning of wealth. Years later, when Edward was old, people asked him, "Sir, what is the greatest investment you ever made? Was it your gold? Your business? Your empire?" Edward smiled and replied, "No, the greatest investment I ever made was time. The moments I spent with people I love. Money is paper, time is life. And once life is gone, no wealth and the world can buy it back." My friends, remember this. Money can buy a house, but not a home. It can buy a bed, but not sleep. It can buy a clock, but not more time. Your real treasure is not in your bank account. It's in the hours you spend wisely, the people you love, and the memories you create. So don't just chase money, chase moment, chase life. Because in the end, the richest person is not the one who has the most money, but the one who has lived the most time. So, if you learned something from this story and you enjoy it, then like the video and subscribe the channel.